Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at Cell Max and basically how good he is in a preview, see if he's looking really solid. So we have artificial life forms or super bosses category, of course. Basically, yeah, with that 150% lead, not too great. 150% lead isn't too meta, to be honest with you. It's just not really super reliable. So like it's a bit low, but I wish they would change it, but it seems like they just stuck on that for yellow coin LRs. Then we have obviously his passive, activates the entrance animation once only, and attack and defense of 100%, guards all attacks and launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack for 3 turns from the character's entry turn when there's another artificial life forms or super bosses category ally on the team upon the character's entry. Key +5, attack and defense of 300% with an additional key +1 and attack of 20% up to 100% with each attack performed, and an additional key +1 up to 5 and defense of 100% with each attack received. Launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack, and gets an additional defense of 250% and reduces damage received by 30% when all allies attacking the same turn are artificial life forms, super bosses or movie bosses category characters. Gets an additional 250% attack and a chance of performing a crit plus 30% when there are no superheroes category allies attacking in the same turn, and launches an additional super attack within the same turn after receiving an attack. So there's quite a bit to unpack here. Obviously we have the temporary guard, okay, and we have the temporary additional, and we have the temporary attack and defense of 100% for the first 3 turns, which is fine. It's to give him that extra little boost he needs before he's built up his additional defense and attack. 300% attack and defense with 5 key is needed. He's not going to have a lot of links that are going to link with everyone on his team. He's not going to have prepared for battle, he's not going to have fear and faith, he's not going to have a lot of these big links, which we'll talk about just now. So he's going to need the key, the additional attack with each attack performed, and the additional key and defense with each attack received is fine. During those 3 turns, remember he's firing that additional super attack or that additional attack. He's got his base attack, so building up those attacks is easy, it's based on attack. And defense is pretty straightforward because he has guards, so you can just kind of throw him in harm's way. He also launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack as well. So building up his full attack is not really a huge issue, and getting him to build up his full defense shouldn't be a huge issue. He gets an additional defense of 250% and damage reduction to 30% when all allies attacking the turn are artificial life forms, super bosses or movie bosses category characters. So this is just important because what it means is you can't have like for example physical Buhan and Broly in the rotation. He needs them all to be the same category. Okay, so you need them to be one of the categories. It doesn't work if he is, you know, in a rotation where he's got one movie boss, one artificial life forms character, or one super boss, or one movies boss. He needs to have them be all aligned. So the other 2 units have to be super boss or movie boss or artificial life forms. But 30% damage reduction is good, and 250% defense is very good, so that's really solid. Gets an additional 250% attack and chance of crit plus 30% when there are no superheroes category allies attacking in the same turn, which is cool. And then launches an additional super attack within the same turn after receiving an attack. So pretty straightforward. Lots of pre-built stuff in. Additionals are built in. Crit is built in as long as you have no superheroes category allies, which is not that hard to achieve. You just can't use the gammas on the Android team. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Super bosses, pretty simple. All in all, good stuff. 30% crit is decent, not super duper high. He's got baked in additionals. He's got 30% damage reduction, also not super duper high, but all pretty good if you add it all together. Android Assault, Infighters, Berserker, Big Bad Bosses, Nightmare, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power are his link set, which is pretty good. Big Bad Bosses is definitely needed, so it's nice that he has that. He then has an active skill which can be activated when all allies attacking the same turn are artificial life forms or super bosses category characters starting from the 4th turn, when all allies attacking the same turn are extreme class starting from the 6th turn. Massively raises attack, causes ultimate damage to the enemy, defense plus 999%, and directs enemies' attacks towards the character for 1 turn. So just basically, yeah, intercept, pull, huge, massive turn for him. Not really too much to say here. Very obviously, they made the defensive boost huge because the chances are you won't have your guard active. And he'll need that defensive boost to be very huge because in future you're going to want to use his intercept and you're going to need that intercept. So very, very good stuff though. And then of course we have his super attack effects. So he greatly raises attack for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to the enemy on his 12 key, on his 12 key, and then he greatly raises attack and defense, causes mega colossal damage to the enemy on his 18 key. So nothing too crazy in terms of super attack effects. So yeah, really, honestly, a good unit. Obviously, people have been crying out for an extreme strength as well. So an extreme strength super boss's character like Cell Max is kind of perfect for a lot of players. But you know, with everything going on right now, it's going to be interesting to see what his banner is going to look like. He is a yellow coin LR as well. So it's not like a carnival LR. It's not like he is as difficult to get or as restricted. So you should be able to get him again. So let's see. We'll take a look at his animations. So yeah, I think, look, animations wise, you know, they're dealing with obviously the superhero movie, and he's got a lot of animations from there, but a lot of them were obviously in like team group fights. So he's got a lot of really good moves. I think the references are good enough that he's produced some pretty nice quality animations. I think with a giant form character, it's always very difficult because, like, you know, big characters, because you have to kind of give some kind of sense of scope, but it makes it feel like the moves are very slow. It always kind of makes them feel very just lethargic almost. I think what they've done is pretty cool. They focused on a lot of the cool key effects, which I think is really awesome. They focused on a lot of his best moves. I think his active skill looks really awesome. This giant key ball. And yeah, I just think in general he's got some good animations. I'm not going to say they're the absolute best in the world, but I think with the source material and everything, I think they come out pretty good, if I'm being honest. So yeah, very chuffed.